Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Saturday on 7Edition. I'm Otto Othman and these are the headlines. Police to freeze bank accounts of organized crime members. Autopsy fails to reveal cause of Orang Asli deaths. And Southern California reels from magnitude 7.1 quake. Police will freeze the bank accounts of individuals involved in organized crime in a bid to curtail their illegal activities. Inspector General of Police Dato Sri Abdul Hamid Bado said the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorism Financing Act, or AMLA, is useful in tackling organized crimes, including smuggling. He said the cigarettes smuggling syndicates in Malaysia are as bad as the infamous Al Capone gang in the US. The government had introduced laws like AMLA to handle these illegal activities. Dato Sri Abdul Hamid stressed that enforcement agencies must act strongly to eradicate the crime syndicates. They could learn from the Australian and UK authorities in tackling cigarette smuggling activities, such as giving special training to their officers before sending them to the field. Police have classified the death of 3 divers in the waters of Pulau Kulapuan off Semporna, Sabah yesterday as murder. Authorities added that they are now looking for the fishermen who allegedly used the fish bomb, which resulted in the divers' deaths. According to police, the fish bomb allegedly used by the suspects resulted in the deaths of 2 Chinese tourists identified as Zhao Zheng and Zhu Yingji, as well as a local diving coach, 31-year-old Zainal Abdun. Their bodies were found with blood coming out of their ears and mouth, while dead fishes and destroyed corals were also discovered nearby. It was understood that a boatman had dropped them off at the location and returned to the jetty to get additional dive tanks. However, when the boatman returned an hour later, he saw the divers motionless underwater. When their bodies were brought up, their diving masks were found cracked and their dive tanks were not functioning. The remains of the victims have been sent to Tawau Hospital for post-mortem. So far, a boatman and his assistant have been remanded by police to facilitate investigations into the case. Meanwhile, condolences for the dive instructor have been pouring in on social media. Zainal was described as a caring and loving person by his cousin on Facebook, while others said he was always friendly. Fellow divers also shared fond memories of how Zainal had a successful diving business in Semporna and said his death was avoidable, urging the state government to put an end to fish bombing activities completely. In Selangor, a woman was killed when the Proton Wira she was travelling in with her friends slammed into a metal guardrail on the North-South Expressway in Sungai Buloh this morning. 31-year-old Liana Azri Ibrahim died on the spot at the 5:36 a.m. incident. The driver, Juliana Anggrini Ahmad, also 31, and another passenger in the car, Nur Hidayati Amir, age 32, were badly hurt and rushed to the Sungai Buloh Hospital for treatment. It was believed that the car was rammed in the rear by a Ford Ranger driven by a man, causing the Wira to go out of control and crashing into the guardrail. Firemen were deployed to the scene to extricate the victims, who were pinned in their seats. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for causing death by reckless driving. Police are now on the hunt for the driver of the pickup truck to assist investigations. A pizza delivery rider died after making a delivery when he crashed into a pickup truck. The fatal accident happened in Chendaring, Kuala Terengganu yesterday evening. The accident happened when the pickup truck had suddenly made a right turn and the oncoming motorcyclist failed to avoid the vehicle in time. The 20-year-old man, identified as Muhammad Shafiq Nazmuddin Rohaizan, suffered serious head injuries and died on the spot. It was understood that the victim was working part-time as a pizza delivery rider while waiting to further his higher education. His body was brought to the Sultanah Nur Zahira Hospital for post-mortem. An explosion injured 7 firefighters while they were extinguishing an afternoon blaze at 3 factories in Pulau Indah, Port Klang, Selangor yesterday. And authorities said the explosion was so loud, 4 of their personnel suffered ringing ears. One fireman reportedly injured his leg while another suffered burns to his ear, besides inhaling toxic fumes from the inferno. Meanwhile, 2 firefighters are still in the Tunku Ampuan Rahimah Klang Hospital receiving treatment. They were among 60 men who were working to stop the blaze, which was finally put out at around midnight. It was reported earlier that the factory producing fertilizers was razed to the ground while another 2 were 50% destroyed in the fire. The results of the post-mortems on the skeletal remnants of the 12 orang asli in Kampung Kuala Koh, Kelantan, cannot confirm their cause of deaths. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, however, said they have not received the results of their toxicology, heavy metal and entomology tests.
Keputusan daripada bedah siasat terhadap 12 lagi mayat yang kita exhume itu yang ditemui oleh pihak polis, tarikh kematian pada antara 2 hingga 6 Jun itu telah dijalankan bedah siasat itu pada 17 dan 18 Jun oleh pasukan forensik di South Top Chief Forensik KKM yang telah dijalankan itu, dan punca kematian tidak dapat disahkan, tidak dapat kita determine.
He also said that the number of deaths which were confirmed due to measles based on laboratory tests remained at 3 cases, adding that there was also no new death cases as of yesterday. 48 cases were still being treated, including 2 in the intensive care unit as of July 5th. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Zulkifli said the Sungai Kim Kim toxic pollution incident in Pasir Gudang, Johor may not necessarily be the cause of myokimia in 12-year-old Irfan Wafi Idham Wazir. The health minister also said he would visit Irfan Wafi's family with neurologists to give a more thorough explanation.
Bila orang dengar myokimia itu seolah-olah ini adalah akibat kimia. Dia tidak semestinya begitu, ya. Myokimia is a kind of involuntary muscle twitching, hyperexcitability of muscles. Ya, ini boleh berlaku di many situations. Itu adalah myokimia atau myocytes. Is this atau inflammation of the muscles yang mengakibatkan muscle twitching dan sebagainya tidak sampai. So semua itu akan kita berikan penjelasan. So jangan asosiasi myokimia itu dengan bahan itu jadi masalah because awam tidak berapa faham tentang perkara ini.
The minister also assured that Irfan Wafi would be treated by a neurologist pediatrician. Irfan Wafi, the 4th of 5 siblings, was diagnosed with myokimia, similar to a Parkinson's disease, believed to have been contracted from exposure to the toxic pollution from Sungai Kim Kim last March. It was also reported that a background check on the boy found he was born prematurely and had history of fits since he was 4. On March 7th, 103 students and residents of Sungai Kim Kim were hospitalized as a result of inhaling hazardous gas. After an initial investigation was carried out, the authorities identified the cause of the toxic air was due to chemicals dumped into the river. In another development, Irfan Wafi's family said the 12-year-old boy has no known history of similar illnesses prior to the Sungai Kim Kim incident. His father, 49-year-old Idham Wazir Abdul Wahab, also said his son was an active boy and enjoyed swimming. He is also worried about Irfan Wafi's progress in school as the boy is preparing for his UPSR. The family said they will file a lawsuit against those responsible for the Sungai Kim Kim incident. According to his mother, Nordela Abu Hashim, the suit was to seek justice and safeguard her son's future. Coming up, an angry baseball fan uses own son as weapon. The details next. Thank you for staying with us. DAP hopes Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Bersatu will only accept former UMNO members with a clean track record into its fold. Its Secretary General Lim Guan Eng said all Pakatan Harapan component parties must hold on to the consensus agreed by the coalition's Presidential Council in regards to accepting members from opposition parties.
So saya hanya sebut ialah sebelum ini memang ada ahli parlimen UMNO yang masuk Bersatu, kecuali ada beberapa orang yang Tun tak akan terima. So saya rasa di sini ada itu yang disebutkan oleh Tun, ada satu cooling off period untuk buat penilaian, dan selepas mereka mendapati tak ada pelibatan secara langsung dalam itu skandal-skandal rasuah khususnya YNDB, itulah mereka terima. So itu yang berlaku sebelum ini. Saya akan anggap ini adalah konsisten dengan apa yang beliau sebut sebelum ini.
Lim was commenting on Bersatu Chairman Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's call for all Malay parties to unite under his party's banner. Yesterday, the Prime Minister said the present high number of Malay-based political parties had weakened the community because of the divisions. He then urged all Malays to join Bersatu in order to strengthen their political cult. The government will not need to pay for the acquisition of the 4 highway concessionaires that will cost almost 6.2 billion ringgit. Political Secretary to the Finance Minister, Tony Phua, explained that the acquisition of the 4 highways will not raise the government's debt burden. Phua also said in a statement this will be achieved by the creation of designated purpose vehicle, which would be raising the money to finance the purchase. The money from the proposed congestion charges will also make it a self-financing debt. The Finance Ministry estimates that it will save between 5.3 billion to 6.5 billion ringgit, as it would not have to spend the money to compensate the concessionaires to freeze the toll rates until the end of the respective concession periods. The takeover exercise is currently awaiting the approval of the concession shareholders and the final approval of the Cabinet. Now let's move on to our daily segment, Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, ever been so angry you felt the need to smack someone with your own kid? No? Then you're a lot calmer than this guy. Baseball spectators in Yokohama, Japan were shocked after witnessing a man slamming his own son to strike the head of another spectator. Here's the story. At the start of the clip, the angry father was being escorted out of the stands after an altercation, as he had become enraged with his team. The Hanshin Tigers went 4-0 down to the opposing team, the Bay Stars. Just as he was passing by a fan from the rival team, without warning, he does this. After getting hit, the fan on the receiving end of the assault quickly got up to confront the enraged man, but the latter was immediately ushered out by stadium security. Footage of the incident shared on Twitter less than a week ago has collected over 1.3 million views. It's unclear, though, what happened to the man or if he received any charges or official police complaints as a result of the incident. A Thai official said Saturday that a South Korean actress is facing up to 5 years in jail for catching endangered giant clams in a reality TV stunt, despite the show's extensive apology. Lee Yeo-eum was filmed diving and prizing the giant clams at a Thai marine park for a June 30th episode of Law of the Jungle, a popular South Korean reality show. Pictures of 23-year-old Lee picking up the mollusks started circulating online, bringing the star of Korean TV drama My First Love to the attention of authorities. The sea creatures are listed as an endangered species and protected under Thai law. Narong Kongaid, the head of Hat Chau Mai National Park, where the show was filmed in April, said he filed 2 charges Wednesday against the actress for violating the national park's law and the wildlife protection law. The production company had apologized for not being aware of Thailand's wildlife regulations. However, Narong added that this was a criminal case and he could not withdraw the complaint. It is now up to the court's prosecutor to decide if Lee will be pursued or if the case will be dropped. Thousands of protesters marched to a police office in Yangon Saturday, demanding speedy and transparent justice in a child rape case. The assault that has sparked national outrage took place in May in Myanmar's capital. But a public campaign went viral last week after the girl's father spoke to local media. He gave details of how his 2-year-old daughter had returned from nursery with injuries doctors told him were the result of rape. Social media users have questioned the slowness and professionalism of the police response to the case, underscoring a lack of trust in authorities in a country still emerging from decades of military rule. One man was arrested Wednesday and charged with the attack, although there is public skepticism over whether the authorities have the right person. Police, however, cited the use of CCTV footage as evidence against the suspect. A new child law is soon due to be signed and would allow police to open cases even if nobody presses charges. A new healthy drink has entered the local market. Ogokcha, a drink containing grains, nuts and flours, purportedly promotes good health as well as preserved beauty. With the tagline, Beauty from Inside, its first outlet was opened today at My Town Shopping Mall in Cheras, Kuala Lumpur.
Ogokcha is a 5-grain tea produced without preservatives and is 100% natural with high levels of unsaturated fats and vitamins.
The idea of Ogokcha is actually bred from Korea because we went to Korea to find out more about the skincare and the beauty care. And through the opportunity, while we are researching into this ingestible beauty care, we find that we want to introduce the thing that we found in Korea back and implement it into Malaysia.
Ogokcha contains misugaru, a well-known grain from South Korea, and most suitable to explore the Asian markets, particularly Malaysia.
So I actually see it slightly different. I think Malaysia is a country that's full of opportunity. Well, unlike Singapore that is getting more and more saturated, I think in Malaysia there's still a lot of hidden gems that people can dig up, which is why I'm really looking forward to this whole venture in Malaysia.
The drinks are priced at 14 and 7 ringgit for large and medium sizes, respectively.
A huge inflatable structure representing the head of U.S. President Donald Trump was installed in the Moselle River in France to denounce his stance against climate and environment as part of the Constellations Digital Arts Festival. We leave you with the visuals of the symbolic art installation as we wrap up tonight's news. With that, I'm Otto Othman. Thanks for watching and good night.